And thus begins the tiling adventure. This is all we got done Saturday. We probably started around 11, finished up around 1900, 7 o'clock for you civilians. But didn't really do much in the way of filming because we're trying to figure out how to use this new system. That, I've always used these spacers, these little blue ones like that, or the little plus sign ones, but this, with these little anchor plastic looking things and these little wedges, instead of having to use a straight edge or a board, you use these, so it clips under the tile, wedge goes through, and that levels them up to each other relatively. They're still, this floor, you can tell that messy area is a place we had to pull up a whole lot, but this floor is not level at all. And I thought I had most of it taken care of with the hardy backer and applying extra subfloor adhesive down underneath, but no, we had to fight a whole low spot right in here. But I don't know, let me see how these are supposed to come off. Oh, they just rip. Okay, so you pull the wedge out, you should be able to, well, that one ripped, this one did not. But we'll figure that out, figure out how you're supposed to take those out. And that one ripped out nice and neat. Now all that's buried under there. You have a nice edge ready for grouting. But yeah, look at that. Making you dizzy yet? But yeah, they just kick off like that on the floor anyway. Hopefully I don't lose any down that vent. This is where things start getting fun and it starts looking real. You start getting your floor down. And you know you're getting somewhere. Which the messy part of grouting is yet to come. Yeah, this seems to be working. Just slide your foot across them. And they just come out. And I notice in the bags, you get 96 of the white things, 96 of the yellow wedges. With the white ones in the bags, just be prepared for a lot of them to be broken in the bag. They just don't seem to survive the shipping. The other thing I probably need to buy more is these blue spacers with such a large area to go. I just had to pull them across as we're going. And you can do that, it's okay, because these start getting set up and you can move spacers on the next rows as you're going. And so they pretty much end up on the leading edge, 2 or 3 rows in. And it's okay. Why's that one fighting? Hit it harder. But yeah, and you look at that, and it is pretty dang level, and this system makes it pretty fast to do. So it's a system I'll use again. I was thinking, that's not good. I've got a hollow spot there, and there. Golly, we got some hollow spots. That's not fun. That's not good at all. That's solid. That's definitely solid. That's the worst thing you want to hear is that's solid. That's not solid. We got hollow spots. I don't know. It's solid on that end, but not on this end. Alright, here's the reality of it all. Start looking at the 1 or 2 or 3 that were loose, and we were able to pull up this much of the floor. Alright, right before the battery died on me, last clip you saw was us having torn up the entire floor. We took all of yesterday to put that floor back down. Lesson learned here. And there are 2 types of these little plastic anchors. You see this one's got a curved bottom, there's one with a flat bottom, and we use the curved bottom one because, yes, thank you baby. The curved bottom ones are for an uneven floor, and this is, if anything, an uneven floor. So it should give you a little more standoff. But the lesson learned here is, and we'll show you in a second when we get back to tiling this morning, you've got to butter both the floor and the tile. And I would do, and I troweled the floor this way, but the tiles this way. And that way you get good contact, good adhesion. But it took a ton a ton of mortar to get this back down, because you have what was already down. Once we ripped up those tiles, we had to butter that in and fill it in level, then back butter the tiles and set those in. So that was labor intensive to fix this. And it just kills me, because this leveling system should keep you level, but now I've got all these lips everywhere. And this is going to go down in history as one of the worst floors I've ever done. And the only real variable in here that's different from any other time I've done them is, in fact, this system. But there's the hard lesson learned on the biggest floor. Maybe we should have started in the entryway. I don't know. But I just wanted to get the kitchen done. You have to protect these floors and then hang drywall. But yeah, just trying to get all the tile down this week while I've got help. I can put some protection down on the floor and then hang sheetrock. But yeah, that's our biggest lesson learned, is with this system you got to butter both the floor and the tile. And like I said, I did long ways on the floor and short ways on the tile. Once we got over here where we started laying stuff on clean floor again, and so far I haven't found a single hollow spot. And then you look real close in here, you can see how it spurges out. That's a good sign you had good contact. You can see it all the way down in here. It definitely spurges out, so that's, you don't want it, you gotta, and that's the thing you gotta watch too, is when you're doing this. And I use one of these as a scraper to get down in there and get it out, because you don't want, no, that's not bad, but if you have it coming up and taking the space of the grout, you're in trouble when you're trying to grout. I think I caught all of them. Like there, I scraped that down. But yeah, you do want to see it coming out, so you know you got good contact. But between the old and the new, there's still this lip. So I'm not happy with this floor at all, but I'm not going to tear it up. It's going to be this way. But yeah, we're going to go with this and get back to tiling today. Now, I've never done this before, but this metal edge is going to have some of the wood below it. So this is how I'm going about it. You are supposed to stuff that full of the thin set, but you need to get it to stick in place first so I can start measuring and cutting tiles. So I'm laying a bed of mortar down first and see if that will help stick it in place. But there's a little trick or tip that I'm using. Real tile setters will probably have something different to do with this, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. Hope you learned something from that. Alright, here's what I'm talking about. Lengthways for the length of the tile, and go across when you drag them. That way you end up with a crisscross engagement, and that leaves you plenty of mud to be able to compensate for those little dealios. And notice, here's what I was talking about when I framed up my fireplace. I left plenty of space to slip that tile under, so I'm not having to cut the tile for it. And I'll fill that space with silicone. It doesn't really need to be, but I will later. But yeah, there's what I'm talking about. So butter the surface of the hardy board and then butter the back of the tile, but do them in crisscross from each other. Alright, here we go. This is it for tiling. I'm not really probably going to do much more in this video. Grout is grout. Mix up just like you do the thin set and you spread it all around. Probably find a million videos on YouTube about that, but this is just me and my project. On the end here, we found another usage for these little shims, is to keep this from slanting down, and then packed it with mud. And that keeps it nice and level across, because there's nothing on this side to hold it up. Just the way the measurement between windows is, and you end up with a 2 3/4 inch cut there, 2 3/4 inch cut there. Same thing, using some of the shims to keep it up. Well, we're pretty much done. Pretty much done with this here. So that's that. The kitchen. I didn't really show much. I showed you a little bit about that edge. I need to put some plywood underneath that temporarily to keep that buttressed up from getting kicked off or stepped off. I'll do that a little later, because I think I'm going to take the wood floor up under that. So this detail between drywall there, that whole step's going to have wood floor under it. Yeah, kitchen's done. Our kitchen and dining, they're all done. Not happy with that floor at all, but it'll do. I'm going to do tile like a 4-inch strip up the side of these walls and up the face here. So this will be a kind of a tile bathtub in here, a bathtub effect when you're coming in with wet boots and everything else. But yeah, there's tile. There's how those little wedge systems work. Definitely a cool system. It works great, but if you don't double butter, you end up with the kind of woes we had in the kitchen. So that was a total learning process in there. This stage of the install, they look very, very dirty. And they always do. You got to scrub all that stuff off, clean it off. The grouting's still got to be done yet, and that's going to be even more dirty. But this is it for all the floor tile. At least the stuff I'm doing down here on the main level this go around. There'll be others later. The bathrooms will all get tiled eventually. The laundry room will get tiled eventually. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something there. If you ever want to tackle a tile project, I would definitely suggest these little levelers. A lot faster than having to use your own straight edge and board and pounding it all, squeezing it all. You still got to squeeze them a bit, and you definitely want to do the double buttered, but this, I would recommend this system for sure. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.